Most of this tile set is not, in fact, evil. The top 2 layers are actually pretty trivial to match up, nothing to write home about. But fuck the background layers. Every time, I think I can get the checkerboards right by looking to see whether the upper left corner is light or dark, but apparently that corner is the actual tile background, not a clickable layer, and I only figured this out after playing this set like 10 times at least. I feel like I'm actively being gaslit. The low contrast is just salt in the wound, 8 out of 10. Evil, but ineffectual. The deceptive aspect of not knowing which tile an element is in is easily skirted by always just clicking the element you mean to match. 4-layered as this one may be, ultimately it's tiles child's play. Child's play? Whatever. 6 out of 10. Easily the least evil tile set. Everything is what it looks like. I can zoom through this one and imagine it happy to see me land a perfect. Some confusable borders if you're not paying like a little attention, but such is to be expected for a New York Times game. Technically this one gets the same ranking as Tangier's, but I'm gonna dub it the least evil just because it's so nice to look at. I feel at home here. 1 out of 10. You'd think this one would be evil, but not if you've played it enough times. It may be visually intricate, may have similar but distinct elements, may be difficult, but that's it. It's difficult. No tricks here. We all confused the diamond for the diamond with slightly concave edges on our first go at this tile set, but after that, that's on you. 4 out of 10. The number of times I have broken a streak on Kuala Lumpur because 2 elements of the same color were stacked in the same tile so you could only see one of them is truly inordinate. This one gets extra evil points because its visual style is an element of the deception. There are no fine lines, no extra layers to keep track of, no obvious instances of trickery. You'd have to go in expecting it in order to notice that some of the tiles already look partially cleared at the start of the game. You will lose track of which ones those are. At least with Utrecht, you know you're no longer in for a fun, chill little time waster. This one will fool you once and twice at the same time. It is the reason I am writing this list in the first place. 9 out of 10. Less evil than Kuala Lumpur, only because it's happened to me far less often on the Lisbon set, but mistakes due to same color stacking are still very possible here. It's easier to read, though. It feels like it shouldn't be, but I suspect that because the visual patterns are just that much more intricate, I don't slip into complacency as easily. I can respect this one. Still evil. 7 out of 10. This guy. I could jokingly call this one evil just because what a clusterfuck of elements that is to be looking at, but it's so obviously not. This one sees what other tile sets are up to and is just patently uninterested. It's not quite a walk in the park, but it's like a walk up a moderately steeper hill in the park. Those 2 distinct pink gradients are but a tiny wink in evil's direction. Somehow it feels like an Easter egg. 2 out of 10. This one thinks it's being evil, but it's showing its hand too much. There are indeed a number of close calls where color constancy illusions can trip you up and break a combo, but like, come on, it's obvious that's what it's trying to do. The trick here is a little less clear than it is with Brighton, just clear the more distinct colors first so you can see the false twins more objectively, but it's also easier to remember to do. 5 out of 10. Sometimes it's obvious that a tile set is evil and knows it. Sometimes it's obvious that a tile set is all around nice. Sometimes it seems like a tile set will be nice only for it to betray you down the line. Sometimes it seems like a tile set is evil, but upon closer inspection, it's truly just hard. And then there's the Paris tile set. I genuinely don't know what to make of the intentions of the Paris tile set. Is it a fool's errand to be analyzing the intentions of a set of game assets? Maybe, but I'm doing it anyway. I feel like my eyes just slip right off this thing. There are no footholds here, no opportunities to enter flow. Every single match is a slow, deliberate hunt. It doesn't feel deceptive the way some other sets do, but it's functionally deceptive. You'll regularly find yourself clicking a border with an upward slope arrangement of diamonds, thinking it was a downward slope, and not even wondering how you got them mixed up. This thing is evil the way an iron wall is evil. 8 out of 10. Whew. I did too many takes of that. Okay, Soho is seemingly trying to build on the work of Kuala Lumpur and Lisbon, and I can commend its efforts to take their villainy in an innovative direction. The challenge, initially, seems to be that it's ambiguous which elements are solid circles and which are rings. The problem is, while that might be true, it's ultimately inconsequential. Thanks to color and size and positioning, it's pretty much never ambiguous what elements there are. It just takes a while to get familiar with the terrain, but it will unintentionally clarify itself to you as you progress through a game, rather than getting more confusing as more tiles are partly cleared. Saying that Soho is pulling a Lisbon might be a stretch, but it still feels disappointingly derivative. The nod to New Haven isn't helping either. This also clearly isn't pulling off any actual color illusions. Every time I get this one, I just go, oh, the other color one. This one's not evil, and I'm not even sure it's hard. It's just weird, and not very nice to look at. 3 out of 10. While visually a little bit busy and more difficult than some on the background layers, this is not evil. You knew that. There are 3 layers, and it is entirely transparent what they consist of. It's almost boringly uneval. Click the eagle, click the blue octagon, click the scalloped diagonal, rinse, repeat. It may not be the most fun tile set for that reason, but you will get a perfect on Tangier. The only thing that could prevent you from doing so is inattentiveness, and that's your sin, not its. 1 out of 10. It's cheeky, yes. Prankish. Demanding, even. But not evil. I look at this thing and I smile every time. It's far more willing to mess with you than, like, Hong Kong, but I can't shake the feeling that it really doesn't want you to fail. Like, I had to work at it to figure out what patterns it was even asking me to look for, but the fact that it asked that question left me feeling reinvigorated once I'd solved it for the first time. It's too easy to assume that this is deceptive behavior. Topeka is asking you to explore, to engage, to use your skills of pattern recognition on a wholly new level. It feels too good, too wholesome for me to say it's evil. The climb is steep and constantly winking at you, sure, but the rewards are great. 5 out of 10. I'm sure you're all expecting me to call Utrecht the most evil tile set of them all. And yes, it feels evil. It feels like the worst of Brighton, Paris, and Topeka combined. It feels like it was designed solely to frustrate. It even has some of those near-identical pairs of elements that feel like they're trying to gaslight me, like in Austin. And Paris again. But I have to be honest with myself. I cannot, in good faith, as a purveyor of art, give Utrecht that 10 out of 10 no matter how much the people demand it. Is it mean? Yes. Am I into that? Maybe. My point is, by and large, there is a deep integrity to the Utrecht tile set. It knows exactly what it's doing, and it knows that you could skip the tiles for today, wait for a Los Angeles or Holland or whatever, but you won't. You'll feel very frustrated, yes, but in the same way that you feel scared when you watch a horror movie. It's enjoyable. It's the point. Kuala Lumpur and Austin don't pull this off because they look like they're supposed to be a family-friendly coming-of-age feature and an Adam Sandler movie, respectively, but Utrecht delivers on its genre. I feel compersion for, in case we've forgotten, a New York Times Tiles game tile set whenever this one adds new elements, even as I get angry when I fail to recognize what the fuck they're doing. Here, that anger is a well-executed art experience. Topeka makes me proud of myself. Utrecht makes me proud of Andrew Dorr. This set is the peak of what New York Times has the power to do with tiles. And, well, this is my subjective list, and I like the Utrecht set. If it's evil, then I guess I'm evil. Or maybe just masochistic, but not in a dour, self-punishing way, in like a fun, hot way. 6 out of 10. What the fuck do you mean they're called palettes?